This Daystar Lower Switch Panel is for those of you with a 2011 and up JK that are looking for a spot to add some additional switches for some auxiliary lighting. And this switch panel is going to be a very simple 1 out of 3 wrench installation that won't take you more than a half an hour to complete, of course without the wiring up of the switches. Now from the factory there aren't a lot of locations to add accessory switches into your JK. You can cut into the dash, but a lot of people don't like to do that because there's just no coming back from it. Once that hole's there, it's there permanently. So Daystar has a couple of different options for switch panels for you. I personally really like the A-pillar switch panels from Daystar, and this is going to be another great option. This is going to put a switch on the center console just in front of your gear shift. It's going to make the switches very easy to touch, very easy to access. You're not going to have to reach or stretch, and it's an area of your Jeep that is otherwise underutilized. Now for a switch panel, this is going to be right on the money as far as the pricing goes. It doesn't include the switches. There's going to be a little bit of cutting of the panel itself involved in order to get your switches installed, depending on what type of switches you install. So there's a little bit of work as far as that goes. It's not going to be a completely just add-on piece. However, for what you're getting, I do think this is a fair price. As far as the construction goes, this is going to be a plastic piece with a similar texture to the rest of the interior of your JK, so it is going to blend right in. It's almost going to be an OEM plus look, almost like it should have been there right from the factory. Now, even though the holes aren't cut for the switches, because Daystar doesn't know what size, what style, how many switches you're going to be running, it does have little punch-out areas, so with a nice sharp knife, you can make a cut that will allow you to put a traditional style, a contra style rocker switch in here, and there you can fit 5 across. If you wanted to go with a smaller toggle switch or a push button or even an LED indicator, you can always do that as well. You just have to be mindful of where the ribbing is on the back side of that switch area. Other than that, this is of course going to be a very simple, easy install. Once you have the switches installed, you will have to do all of your wiring, but we're not talking about that here. We're just talking about this switch panel, and the panel itself is very easy to install. So to get this installed, again, is a very simple 1 out of 3 wrench installation. It won't take you more than a half hour to complete. All you need to do is have a trim tool or a screwdriver handy, pop off one piece of trim that's in front of that gear shift, and remove a couple of clips from the back side of it. You'll put those clips on your new switch panel and pop this in place of that factory panel. Of course, before or after that, you'll have to make your cutouts for however many switches and whatever location you're going to be using, and do all of your wiring. But as far as the switch panel goes, again, very, very simple process. One thing to note is that this is only going to work with those automatic Jeeps. If you have a stick shift, this is not going to work. I said before that I think this is a very appropriately priced switch panel, very fair price. This comes in at just around $20. And I think, again, that it fits very well, it looks good, matches the rest of your dash, and is incredibly functional. So I honestly think that $20 is a very fair price. So if you're looking for a way to add some auxiliary switching to your JK, I definitely recommend taking a look at this switch panel from Daystar, and you can find it right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.